Broadcasting live from the Jersey Shore, it's Coach Kev on the Damage 365 Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Damage 365 Radio. This is episode number 21. I am your host, Coach Kev, along with Nick the Beard, who's the co-host today via satellite. Welcome to the show, Nick.
As my boy Dolph Ziggler says, we are here to show the world.
Yes, we are. JT had the day off today as he is working, so he's such a good, responsible young man. Okay. So let's get to it. We got a great show lined up for you today. We got, as always, some birthdays. We have round one of our brand new tournament, the greatest superstars to never wear the WWF or WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We'll have a little conversation about UWA Elite that we attended this past Friday, a crowning of a brand new World Heavyweight Champ. We will have a audio tribute to the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage, who left us 3 years ago on the 20th of May, 2011. We'll have a live call-in interview with former wrestler and former MMA guy, Mickey Byggs. He will be giving us a call. And, whatever else we can fit into the program. So right now, without further ado, let's get into our birthday segment. It's shout-out time, ladies and gentlemen. We got some great birthdays in the house. Happy birthday to Damage alum Kevin Chester. Happy birthday to Christina Dioffer, another Damage alum. And Damage alum Mary Jo Morgello Gomez. Happy birthday to you three guys. Happy birthday to everybody celebrating their birthday out there with us today. And, tournament time, baby. Tournament time.
Best time of the show.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to see who was the greatest superstar to never wear the WWF or WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, this is the brand title, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the World Heavyweight Championship. This is not the Intercontinental Championship. This is not the European Championship. Not the Tag Team Championship. Not the Crown. Not King of the Ring. This is the brand WWF or WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which is now currently worn by Daniel Bryan. That title, ladies and gentlemen, from Winged Eagle on. We had round number one results, and here we go without further ado. In round number one, we saw Matt Hardy defeat Brian Adams, a.k.a. Crush. And we saw the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, defeat Hercules, setting up Matt Hardy versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. In the next bracket, we saw Booker T defeat Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And it was Mr. Perfect, Kern Hennig, defeating the Honky Tonk Man. Okay, Nick, Matt Hardy or the $1 Million Man?
Everybody's got their price. You got to go with the $1 Million Man there. I mean, Matt Hardy, he's a great tag team wrestler. He had a good run in the singles department, but you got to go $1 Million Man there. Everybody's got their price.
I agree. $1 Million Man, a lot of people don't realize how great of a wrestler he was prior to him being fully televised in the late 80s and actually mid to late 80s and early 90s between WWE and WCW. He was a really, really, really good wrestler. So I agree with you on that one. The next bracket was Booker T versus Mr. Perfect.
To be honest, Mr. Perfect is my pick to win it all. I think he is one of the greatest technical wrestlers in my book, and I think he is probably going to take the entire tournament. So I will take him over Booker T.
I'm taking him over Booker T, but take him. So that's a bold statement. All right,
I like to be bold, Kev. I like to be bold.
As Macho Man said, you have to be bold to wear the gold.
Exactly.
Mark Henry defeated Christian. And AA, Arn Anderson defeated Sting. And the next bracket, it was Jesse the Body Ventura defeating Tatanka. And AJ Styles defeating William Regal. So we have Mark Henry versus the Enforcer, Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson, hands down. AA. Great wrestler, technically sound. He takes that, no question about it.
No questions about it. All right. Let's see. Jesse the Body Ventura or AJ Styles?
This is a tough matchup because Jesse Ventura was a great wrestler in his prime. I'm a huge fan of AJ Styles. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm actually going to go Jesse Ventura.
I'm going Jesse Ventura, too. People hit up YouTube. Go check out Jesse the Body Ventura. He was a good wrestler and fun to watch and freaking strong.
Yeah.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeats the Natural Butch Reed, and it was Owen Hart defeating his brother-in-law Davey Boy Smith. In the next bracket, it was Ken Shamrock defeating Ron Simmons, and Goldust defeating Marty Jannetty. Ricky Steamboat versus Owen Hart.
Amazing matchup. I would have preferably liked to seen that later on in like the Final Four or something like that. But I'm gonna have to go Ricky Steamboat there. I do love Owen. We all hope that he gets his credit in his place in the Hall of Fame sooner or later. But I'm gonna go Ricky Steamboat in that matchup.
I'm gonna go with Ricky Steamboat as well. A lot larger body of work. Not the fault of Owen Hart, of course, but facts are facts.
Exactly.
Ken Shamrock and Goldust.
Good matchup. A battle of guys who were stuck in the mid-card for most of their careers. Both had storylines further up, but I'm going to go Goldust in this matchup.
I'm going to go with the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
Okay, all right.
All right. Speaking about a dangerous man, it was Haku, a.k.a. Meng, defeating Lex Luger. Wow. And Tito Santana, speaking about wow, defeating Jerry the King Lawler.
Very interesting.
Ivan Putski defeats Jimmy Superfly Snooker. And the Genius, Lanny Poffo, defeating Don the Rock Morocco. Haku versus Santana.
That's two golden era guys right up against each other. Heard some stories about Haku, one of the toughest guys in the industry in general. Tito Santana, we hope. I love Tito Santana. I'm gonna have to go Haku there. I just have to.
I gotta go with Haku just because of his martial arts ability and
exactly.
Tito's quick and very technical, but I would think the power advantage has to go to Haku and definitely the more dangerous feat.
Absolutely.
Ivan Putski, Polish Power versus the Genius.
Great matchup. A lot of people might not have seen either one of these guys wrestle. You really should, like you were saying before, go back on YouTube and watch Jesse Ventura. You should go back and watch these two as well.
Yep.
I'm going to go Lanny Poffo.
I'm going to go with Lanny Poffo as well. I mean, Ivan Putski was never a mainstay as a championship contender. He was more of the bodybuilder turned wrestler, more there for his looks than his ability.
And Papa was also overshadowed by Randy, too.
Of course.
So, I mean, you got to look at it that way, too. Randy was really, really overshadowed, and he was a very, very good wrestler.
He was a very good wrestler, and even prior to being in the WWE, he was really good.
Exactly.
We had Mike Rotunda, a.k.a. IRS, defeating Magnum TA. And it was Ravishing Rick Rude defeating Canadian strongman Dino Bravo. Next bracket, King Kong Bundy defeats Dusty Rhodes. And it was Razor Ramon defeating JYD Junkyard Dog. So Mike Rotunda versus Ravishing Rick Rude.
Mike Rotunda, great wrestler. He was obviously more of a back guy to the $1 Million Man. Rick Rude, just watched his top 10. He was number 10 on the greatest villains of all time in the WWE. I'm going to go Rick Rude. He should have had a run in my opinion. Mike Rotunda didn't necessarily have any type of run. So I'm going to go Rick Rude.
Mike Rotunda, someone I believe that should be in the Hall of Fame, former tag team champion, always a top contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Later on, once again, won the World Tag Team Championships with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. But back in the day, he was a tag team champ prior to Demolition, prior to the Hart Foundation, prior to the Strike Force. So
yep.
He's been around a while, and now we got his kids involved. So we'll see where they finish in the World Tag.
I'm not gonna lie, I see both of them having a very, very strong career.
I see Bray Wyatt as a world title holder more than I see Bo Dallas. I see Bo Dallas more of a U.S. title or even an Intercontinental Championship run. But Bray Wyatt, I don't see him settling for anything less than the world title.
I totally agree, and I see Bo Dallas. I see him maybe like a Christian almost, who has like a small run later on in his career, like one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna maybe pull in a tag team partner, make a run at a tag team title here and there. But I agree with you, Intercontinental U.S. title for sure.
Okay, King Kong Bundy versus Razor Ramon.
Hey, Chico, you gotta go the bad guy. Go the bad guy.
I gotta go with the technical wrestler over the extremely large and heavy wrestler.
Absolutely.
Not to take anything away from King Kong Bundy, but Razor Ramon by far was more of a technical wrestler. Speaking about technical wrestler, Pedro Morales defeats the one-man gang, and it was Diamond Dallas Page defeating the Big Boss Man. And the next bracket, another technical guy, Tully Blanchard defeats Chief J Strongbow, and we might as well just continue the trend of technical excellence. It was Dean Malenko defeating Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Pedro Morales versus DDP.
Great matchup. I really, really do love DDP. I gotta go Pedro Morales, though. I mean, he's a classic. He's a hall. I gotta go Pedro Morales.
It's hard. I'm gonna have to go with experience. The experience of pre-WWE and pre-WCW over Diamond Dallas Page, who pretty much hung his towel at WCW, and by the time WWE took it over, he was pretty much done. So I'm gonna have to go with Morales as well. In a bracket of absolute excellence. Man, this is crazy. This is another one of these brackets where you wish it was later. Tully Blanchard versus Dean Malenko.
A matchup that you could have seen in the finals, possibly, depending on how the bracket was set up. Dean Malenko is one of my top wrestlers of all time. I absolutely love Dean Malenko, and I can't go against him in this. I just love Dean Malenko, and I really do think he should have gotten a run at a world title. And in my mind, it might be a little bit of a stretch. I want Dean Malenko, Kurt Hennig in the finals.
I see Dean Malenko. I mean, I'm picking Dean Malenko here. Every time there's a conversation about the greatest technical wrestler, Dean Malenko is always my answer. He's in my top 5 of all time greatest technical wrestlers. Him, Tully Blanchard, the Dynamite Kid, the Macho Man Randy Savage, and Kurt Hennig are my top 5.
Exactly. Mine's not much different than that. I throw Ultimate Dragon in there, but I mean, mine's not much different than yours, to be honest.
You know, Tully Blanchard could be one of the more underrated wrestlers and underappreciated wrestlers of all time.
Absolutely.
So, okay, moving on. It was Jake the Snake Roberts defeating Ernie Ladd, and it was the Earthquake squashing George the Animal Steel. It was the aforementioned Dynamite Kid defeating the Great Khali, and it was Harley Race defeating Rikishi. So Jake the Snake Roberts versus Earthquake.
Great matchup. I'm going to have to go Jake Roberts on there. Obviously a Hall of Famer. We were lucky enough to see him at JCW a little while back. Great guy. Great story behind his recovery from addiction. I'm going to go Jake Roberts.
Yep. I'm just going to go with just the speed factor and maybe the intimidation factor of Damien in the corner. So I will go with Jake the Snake Roberts. Dynamite Kid versus Harley Race, another classic bracket.
I don't even know what to say about this matchup. This is just unbelievable that these two are matching up in this round. I love the Dynamite Kid. He's one of the, like we were just saying, one of the best technical wrestlers of all time.
And very underappreciated and underrated because he was always in the shadow of Davey Boy.
Exactly. I gotta go with Harley Race. I love the Dynamite Kid, but I don't understand how I can. I don't know how I can go against Harley Race.
Going against the you can't go against the Green. Harley Race, the first United States champion.
When it actually meant something.
Yeah. When it was actually owned by somebody from America. Yeah, absolute legend. Met him at a big event. Great guy. One of the former kings of the WWE.
Exactly.
Absolute
and
beast.
It doesn't take anything away from the Dynamite Kid because, like we said, he's one of the
one of the greatest.
Greatest technical wrestlers ever. But Harley Race is Harley Race.
Yep. I go with Harley Race as well. The final two brackets, it was let's see, Jeff Hardy and Bam Bam. It was Bam Bam Bigelow knocking off Jeff Hardy. And it was Greg the Hammer Valentine defeating first Intercontinental Champion of all time, Pat Patterson. Roddy Piper lost to the Canadian Killer. And it was Rick Martel defeating Vader. So we got Bam Bam Bigelow versus Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Greg Valentine. Again, I hope we see him in the Hall of Fame. I got to go with Greg Valentine.
Greg Valentine, WWE Hall of Famer. And another very, very good, probably underrated technical bracket right now. The Canadian Killer, everybody knows who that is. We don't mention his name on the show. Versus Rick Martel, a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Obviously, I stir up a lot of controversy with my views on the Canadian Killer. He's on my top five favorite wrestlers of all time. I'm going to go the Canadian Killer.
All right. I have to go him as well. I mean, he was superior technical wrestler over Martel. Not to take anything away from Martel, former tag team champion, one of the ultimate heels of wrestling when he played the persona of the model Rick Martel.
Exactly.
He should be in the Hall of Fame, Rick Martel, but I'm going to have to go with that guy from Canada.
And that's our tournaments aren't made to be easy to pick. I mean, that's the fun part about them is the difficulty when guys like this match up, like Harley Race and the Dynamite Kid. I mean, where else are you going to sit down and actually think who would actually win that matchup?
I know. All right, well, let's recap. You got Rick Martel taking on that guy from Canada. We have Greg the Hammer Valentine versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Harley Race versus the Dynamite Kid. Earthquake takes on Jake the Snake Roberts. Dean Malenko versus Tully Blanchard. DDP versus Pedro Morales. Razor Ramon versus King Kong Bundy. Ravishing Rick Rude versus Mike Rotunda. The Genius versus Ivan Putski. Tito Santana versus Haku. Goldust versus Ken Shamrock. Owen Hart versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. AJ Styles versus Jesse the Body Ventura. Arn Anderson versus Mark Henry. Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig versus Booker T. And the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase against Matt Hardy. So round number 2 results will be next week as always, and it should be very interesting. Let's do a quick recap of UWA Elite from this past Friday. I don't have match results in front of me. I went to their website, didn't have any down. But a great show from South River, New Jersey. A great job by UWA Elite. This is the second show that we've been to, but they did crown a brand new champion as Eric Corvus defeated John Bowles for the UWA Elite Heavyweight Championship. So congratulations to Eric Corvus, the brand new UWA Elite World Heavyweight Champion. And I hope he defends it very, well and often. Former champion from UWA Elite, Kyle the Beast, was banned from ringside and eventually broke his way through one of the doors and attempted to get to ringside to interfere. But Eric Corvus and John Bowles were not affected by the interference, and Eric Corvus covered Bowles for the title. And like I said, congratulations to Eric Corvus, the new UWA Elite World Heavyweight Champion. Also, congratulations to John Bowles on a great title defense and a great match and a good reign as heavyweight champion. But I still think that Kyle the Beast is going to have something to say eventually, one way or another. He's going to find himself in the World Heavyweight Championship picture with Eric Corvus. And Nick,
I think he should too.
And Nick, Nick and I know Kyle the Beast, and not just from UWA Elite. We've seen him wrestle for JCW. He's also wrestled for Superstars of Wrestling. And
I ran into him in the parking lot at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, he told me about that.
Literally just walking in the parking lot, and here he comes up and to say hi to me. I mean,
so
how many people know Damage 365, guys?
That's right. We're out there. People are gonna know who we are. We don't care if a certain other wrestling company we will not mention that is in Jersey thinks they're going to talk some smack in the parking lot. But guess what, guys? We don't care.
We won't go into that right now.
Yeah, we don't go into that. Oh, also like to thank, once again, Pro Wrestling Spotlight on Facebook for stealing my story about Devon Dudley announcing that he will be back on TV again and not for TNA, dropping the hint that he most likely will be back with WWE somehow, some way. Thank you for stealing my story, giving me no credit for it, when not only did I break the story while the story was happening, but I did it
like 2 minutes after it happened, Kevin.
I took a picture of it happening.
You took a picture. I reposted it about 2 minutes later.
And then 3 days later, PWS broke the story, like ESPN, broke the story of someone else's story. So good job, guys, for stealing someone else's material. At least have the ball.
We actually get a television station to set it up and have me, you, and John sit in front of the people who run this website and just rip them a new one? I think we would make national television, to be honest.
It'd be too easy. It'd just be too easy.
It would be way too easy to have the three of us sit in front of these probably 12-year-olds who are running this website.
Exactly, 12. All right. It's time. That part of the show is going to get a little somber. It's our audio tribute to the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion, former Intercontinental Champion, former King of the WWE. The list of accolades just goes on and on and on and on. One of the greatest wrestlers of all time. But ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this tribute to the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Negative. The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. And I'm the World Wrestling Federation champion. And you're not.
Oh, my goodness.
Gotta have beef, gotta have spice, need a little excitement. Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. And when you look into my eyes, the eyes of the Macho King, you see victory.
The Macho King Randy Savage is the one person that nobody should bet against because you'll all go broke, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dig it, yeah.
I am the type of person that doesn't talk negative. I stay positive. Lex Luger, we got a date with Destiny right now, yeah.
And that's the Survivor Series, the Ultimate Warrior, and the Macho Man. And the Ultimate Maniac will survive.
Hey, Freak Show, you're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of heat time.
Elizabeth with arms outstretched. Tears flowing down.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that tribute to the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage. But at this time, we'd like to welcome to the show Mickey Byggs. Welcome to the show, Mick.
Hello, everybody. This is the man. I'm the legend of franchise. The nominee is Mickey Byggs, and it is an honor to be here tonight. How is everyone doing out there?
It's not raining. The sun is out. It's probably a tease, but I'll take it right now. I am located on the Jersey Shore. My co-host Nick is in upper, little bit north of the city, upstate New York. So we kind of like we take over the whole tri-state area.
We're making it big.
Myself, I'm originally in New England. I grew up in New Hampshire and Connecticut, the whole New England area, and I moved to New York. I lived in Brooklyn for about 10 years, actually about 7 years, and then went out to the island. And I lived out in, Suffolk County, Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm living down in South Carolina.
That's a big adjustment. I would not be able to do it because of the simple fact is, how are you surviving not being able to get the pizza and the bagels and the Italian bread?
Well, you know what the funny thing is? Like I said, I'm originally from way up north in New Hampshire, 60 miles from the Canadian border. So the lifestyle up there and the lifestyle here in South Carolina is not much different. I tell everybody I'm a northern redneck.
Ah, you're northern redneck. All right, it's like people in Pennsylvania. It's not that much different. That's why we call it Pennsyltucky.
Exactly.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Mickey Byggs. I know that you used to wrestle. I know you were involved in MMA. So you tell us. Here's your platform. Let us know who Mickey Byggs is and why everybody that's listening after the show will remember who Mickey Byggs is.
Wow, that's wow. Where do I start? Well, I've been in the industry of pro wrestling and the entertainment industry for 23 years. And basically, I started out in the wrestling industry at late 17 years old. I was trained by the legendary Ox Baker, and my 23-year anniversary actually was just this past April, April 19th, and it actually happened to be the anniversary of Ox Baker's birthday, his 80th birthday, in which he fought his retirement match. So kudos to him on that one, and
nice.
Kudos to him for training me, Mickey Byggs. So my career's been quite extensive. Like I said, I started out at 17 years old, and started out as known then as the wrestler known as Powerhouse. And basically, Ox, took me all over the place with him. A lot of the New England territories and a lot of the independent federations. And from there, I quietly moved on and changed my name from Powerhouse and became then what was known as the Archangel. And shortly after becoming the Archangel, I went to NWA New England. And Jason Rumble, the Boston Bad Boy, the son of Tony Rumble, hey, he's like, you know what, we got a tag team that kind of uses that name. Would you mind switching it up a little bit? He says, we want to call you the Dark Angel. I was like, you know what, I don't care what you call me. You can call me anything you want. Call me late for supper. So under the tutelage of Jason Rumble and all the boys in the NWA, I kind of honed my career a little bit. I was basically Jason's Rumble one-man gang. He put me in the ring, and I pretty much squashed everybody he put me in the ring with.
Nice.
From there, I kind of realized that, after about, I want to say, probably 10 years in the industry at that point, I kind of realized, you know what, I'm not good at this wrestling thing anymore. I need to create another character. So from there, I created the Mickey Byggs character. And it actually went over really well. I became more famous for my Mickey Byggs character, and for years and years and years, matter of fact, up until maybe 6 months ago, for all that time, from 2000, 2001, up to, like I said, about 6 months ago, nobody ever knew we were the same person. We always pawned it off that we were twin brothers. I've done interviews of myself. I beat myself up on air. I used to show up at arenas and go in the front door, and there was one character, go into the locker room, change, go out the back door, come back in as the other character. So I pulled it off for years. I had restraining orders on myself and everything. I went into and started doing some MMA, and one of my good friends and my inspiration for MMA is Dan the Beast Severn. Like I said, I've known him now almost 14 years, and I talk to him on a regular basis. And like I said, he was my inspiration for doing MMA. And I started working with a company in Connecticut that is now no longer together. It was called Extreme Battle Zone. And I retired as a champion. And in 2007, they had basically a farewell show. Mm-hmm. And asked me to come back and do just a tournament. It was, it was the defending champion, if you will. And 30 seconds into the second round, I cracked the guy's sternum.
Oh.
So that was that for my MMA career. I finally retired from that. As far as the wrestling goes, like I said, I stopped wrestling officially in 2001. I've dabbled here and there, so once in a while my mouth will get me into trouble and I'll step into the ring. But basically what I do now is columns and interviews with, all my old friends and some new friends and all that good stuff. And this year, September 20th, I believe the date is, here in Hartsville, South Carolina, I'm going to be hooked up with a promotion called C4W out of Myrtle Beach area. And they are the company that the wrestling coach of the Hartsville High School wrestling team and myself have selected to put a fundraiser on.
Okay.
And all the proceeds will go to the Hartsville High School wrestling team. And I'm proud to say that I will be part of that event. I will probably be wrestling my very last match on that card. But time will tell. We'll see how that show goes and see how the old body deals with all the bumps and bruises and punches and kicks.
I know. I've heard that before from guys that they'll say like, oh yeah, that was my last match, and then 6 months down the road I'll see a random card on Facebook, and boom, there they are, right smack in the middle of it. So wrestling seems to be an entertainment drug.
Oh, it is. It's once it's in your blood, it's like a tattoo. Once you get one, you can't stop. And the fact of the matter is, this not only will be, quote-unquote, my last match of my career, but it's going to be the first match I've actually had since 2007. So I've got a lot of ring rust on me. So that's why I say, let's see how the body holds up and see how the body deals with it. Since all that time that I've done wrestling, I was actually seriously injured in an independent show in 1996. I was paralyzed. I was dropped off the top of a steel cage, and I got a major stinger. They didn't know if I'd ever walk again. By late 96, early 97, I was back in the ring. Luckily for me, like I said, it was only a stinger. I had a 22-inch neck, and that's pretty much the only thing that saved me.
I don't know how you guys do this for like $30, $40 a night. I mean, it's pure love for the business. I've seen guys go through tables that I swear to God it looked like they were dead, and they get up and they're hurt. You can see it. And later on during the show, and I just look at them and shake my head, and I'm like, bro, I don't know how you do it, and they just smile.
Well, and it's like you said, it's hard sometimes. If you're the person that's only making $30, $40 a show, and you're doing this kind of stuff, man, it's hard.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody that's doing this night in and night out, making a living at it, like me, I sleep, eat, and breathe wrestling. I don't do anything else as far as working is concerned. I'll get into another character that I created in a minute, but it's hard. It's hard to do it full time. It's hard to do it part time. It's because, like you said, there's really no health insurance involved.
No.
So anything that you're doing, and that's it. And you got to deal with all the problems that go along with it. Like, for instance, I'll give me as an example. Because of my injury, I've got a couple of nagging injuries that continue to show up all the time. I've got severe arthritis in my entire neck. My whole lower spine is deteriorating, and I have what they call pseudotumor, and that's where the brain builds up fluid on it, spinal fluid, and the brain acts as if there's a tumor there, but it's not. It's just fluid buildup, and it causes headaches 10 times worse than a migraine.
Oh.
And those headaches will last me somewhere upwards of probably 10 to 15 days. The last time I had one, which was the beginning of this year, literally lasted me almost a month and a half.
Oh. And there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do about that. They can't go in and drain it.
They can put a shunt in the back of my head, but really, honestly, who wants a faucet in the back of their head? I know. I walk around and say, just drain this a little bit.
Oh, he's got some brain fluid on tap.
Exactly. And the thing is, I've tried everything. I've tried every medication that you could possibly think of to take care of it, and nothing touches it. It's horrendous. It causes you to sit there. You can't hear well. You can't see well. It's ridiculous. And my poor wife is like, "Is there anything I can do?" Yes. Leave me alone.
Oh my God.
That's about it. Just leave me alone.
Nick, did you have any questions?
Yeah. I know you were talking about both your MMA and your wrestling career and everything. And who is the most influential person you've met in just your entire career in sports in general that really helped you grow in either or wrestling or MMA?
Well, like I said, I mentioned Dan Severn. He was my, for MMA, he was my inspirational guy. As far as wrestling, no particular person in the industry. If anything inspired me to do what I did in that ring day in and day out, it was the fans. Because the fans will make you or they'll break you. And I have this philosophy that, a lot of the guys, a lot of the boys in the business forget, and that's whether they boo you or they cheer for you, either way you're getting over and doing your job because that's what they're there for.
Right.
They boo you, then you're doing what you need to do as that heel, that bad guy. If they're cheering for you, then you're doing exactly what you need to do as that good guy. Now, if you're a heel and they're cheering for you, well, now you want to reevaluate your character a little bit because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be getting cheered as the heel. That's the bottom line.
There's a lot of that going on now. You said you're a big wrestling fan. Do you watch WWE?
I do occasionally, if I'm not busy working on something for my, one of my columns or something. But yeah, I do occasionally. These days, I honestly, I don't watch a lot of TV. After I retired from everything, I actually became an ordained Buddhist monk. So I spend a lot of my time just reading and becoming knowledgeable about, Buddhist Dharma and saying a lot of Buddhist prayers.
Okay. I mean, but getting back to what you were saying about, if you're a heel and you're being cheered, there's a lot of that going on from Bray Wyatt to the Shield when
Cesaro.
they were, Cesaro. I'm forgetting Wade Barrett. I mean,
Ziggler when he was a heel.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to the point now where the fans just don't care who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. They are just going to cheer great wrestling.
Well, yes and no. See, what you got to remember is you're looking at the, WWE. That's a whole other monster within itself. And in order for you as a person to get over on an independent circuit, you can't have that gray line.
Right.
You've got to be definitive. Because you know what? You're only as good and memorable as your last match.
Right.
And if you're not in front of that spotlight and you're not in front of that crowd day in and day out, like the WWE guys are, like the TNA guys are, like the Ring of Honor guys, chances are they may not remember you.
True.
If you come out with something that's memorable for them, then obviously they're going to remember you. I just did a Wrestling Spotlight Hall of Fame, which is my company that I run, Wrestling Spotlight Entertainment. I just did a Wrestling Spotlight Hall of Fame, and some pretty big names actually popped up from yesteryear, if you will, that made a big name for themselves on the indie circuit before they became WWE, and some of them are still doing their thing. But, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. One name from the past that made it, Luna Vachon.
Right.
She was the only female that got a nomination. They got nominated to be into the Wrestling Spotlight Hall of Fame. Out of all female wrestlers, she's the only one that anybody thought of. Why? Because she had a memorable character.
Absolutely. She was crazy.
Let's see, Yokozuna. Yokozuna was another one. Huge name for himself in the WWE, but because he's part of the Anawahi wrestling family, he's part of true wrestling royalty, people know who that is.
Yeah, they know who the whole family is. Question for your fans out there, where can they reach you social media-wise?
You can reach me on Facebook.com/Wrestling Spotlight. That's SPOTLITE. You can reach me on Twitter at twitter.com/Mickey Byggs, BYGGS. And you can even send me an email if you want at mickeyBiggs@yahoo.com.
That's awesome, Mick. I mean, I appreciate you coming on the show, letting us know a little bit about yourself. We extend a part 2 to the interview at a later date, so we hope you'd come back and join us again.
Absolutely, not a problem.
All right. I do appreciate you giving us a call. You had a lot of things going on, so thank you for fulfilling your agreement with us, because we all know we hate when people no call, no show.
Hey, real quick, I just want to go. I heard you say something as I was coming on that this was Macho Man Appreciation Night or something.
Yep.
Can I tell you a quick story about Macho Man and I?
Yeah, we got about a minute, 25 seconds. Sure.
Okay. So I was doing an interview. I had a scheduled interview. This was back in 2000, 2001, something like that. I had a scheduled interview with Macho Man, and it was just so happened it was right around that time frame that he had challenged Hulk Hogan to that shoot wrestle match.
Yes. And
he was so aggravated that when I went to do the interview with him, he was so aggravated that Hulk didn't accept it. That in typical Macho Man fashion, he, just screaming and yelling in that deep, raspy voice. And I've actually got to dig the interview out because a lot of people don't believe me when I say this. He actually screwed up exactly what he was trying to say. He was trying to say that Hulk Hogan was so yellow that landing skies from planes could see the yellow streak down his back. However, what came out was effing planes from skies could see the yellow streak down his back.
Nice.
he was so frustrated. He would totally put the two things back opposite of each other. And all I could do was laugh, and I didn't even edit that out. I just left it in. And about a week later, after it aired, he called me and he's like, brother, he said, what are you doing that to me for? I'm like, you did it to yourself.
Big loud sound